Mayoral Memo with Mathew from Dubbo Regional Council.
On 2DU Breakfast, Dubbo Regional Council is quite proud. They've made a pretty big sporting announcement. To find out more, I have the Mayor of Dubbo Regional Council on the line. Good morning, Mathew Dickerson.
Good morning, Iain. Thank you for talking to me, and you are spot on. Yesterday we did make a very big announcement in conjunction with another sporting organisation in the state. Would you like to know what it is?
Oh, look, I'm waiting here with bated breath, Mr Mayor.
Dubbo has been successful in gaining the New South Wales Touch Junior State Cup Northern Conference for the next 3 years, which is incredibly exciting.
So 2024, 25, 26. Now, this follows on from the success of the initial conference that was held in Dubbo during February of this year. Now, what's the history? How did you end up with that one-off?
Well, you are right. There's a bit of history there. Way back in 2020, Council put in a bid, and it normally goes for 3 years. So it's an event that they figure that there's so much work and so much organisation required, it's unfair on any community just to do it for 1 year. Dubbo put a bid in 2020 to hold that event for the next 3 years, and we weren't successful. Port Macquarie were successful. Congratulations to them. Well done. They tried to hold the event in 2021, but it got rained out. And they tried to hold the event in 2022, but it got rained out. And New South Wales Touch said, we don't think we can take the risk in going back there in 2023 because it might get rained out. So they actually opened it up and said, mainly I suppose to other places that have put in a bid back in 2020, but they approached us and said, would you like to put in a bid for a 1 year event rather than the normal 3 year event, because we'll go back for a 3 year event again. So of course we said, absolutely, we think that's fantastic. We put in a bid for it, and we're successful in gaining it for just the one-off event in February this year. But it's fair to say that the community, Dubbo Touch Association, Council, everyone put their best foot forward, and New South Wales Touch was absolutely blown away with the experience they had, with the quality of the grounds. Many people were saying to me, who did you get in to do these grounds? Gee, they're in fantastic condition. And they were quite surprised to know that our staff, just doing their normal job, keep the grounds in those sort of conditions. So they were blown away by that. But I think there's a really big pat on the back here to our entire community. There's no doubt about it that our community opened their arms to the visitors that came in from across the state. And so that was all fantastic. But New South Wales Touch said you've got to go out and put in another bid. So they opened it up again. I don't know who put in bids for the event for the next 3 years. I'd imagine that Port Macquarie would have had another go at it because they know what a great event it is. I'm sure other places put in a bid as well, but Dubbo has been announced by New South Wales Touch as being the successful location. And so this is the New South Wales Touch Junior State Cup Northern Conference. Now, they call it the Northern Conference because there's a northern and a southern, so it's not a conference, it's a sporting event, but they've got a northern section of the state and a southern section. They don't do all the state in one big tournament because it would just be too big. Already, if you look at this year, they had 187 teams involved. We had over 7,000 visitors for the 3 days. We estimate that over $4 million was injected into our economy, and I think it'll be even bigger and better next year.
So as you say there, number of visitors, a lot of money injected into the local economy there. So with Dubbo having won the right to host this for the next 3 years, what are some of the benefits to the whole community?
It really comes down to that economic injection, exposure of what we've got here in Dubbo for people to find out about Dubbo. Many people that I spoke with during the event this year hadn't been to Dubbo before or hadn't been to Dubbo for some time, so it was good advertising for Dubbo. And even though it was an incredibly busy weekend, pubs, hospitality, cafes, etc., all gained benefits out of it. Some people said, well, it's too busy for me to be a tourist this weekend, but now that I've seen what Dubbo's got to offer, I'll definitely be coming back again. I also want to mention Dubbo Touch Association. Now, events like this, often sporting organisations, when they want to try and get someone to take on an event like this, they'll often put their hand out and ask for a medium-sized or a large-sized sum of money to be able to cover some of the costs of hosting that event. To be fair to New South Wales Touch, they haven't gone with that approach. They haven't just put their hand out and said, please give us a large sum of money, but some have still offered that. But Dubbo Regional Council is not paying any money. There's no cash injection going to New South Wales Touch for this event. But Dubbo Touch Association have come on board, and they've committed $15,000 each year for the next 3 years to help secure this event. They also contributed the same amount of money for the event earlier this year. So it's a big congratulations to Dubbo Touch. They believe in the product so much, and they've got such a good club they've run that they're contributing cash. So we're not taking any money from ratepayers' pockets and handing it over to New South Wales Touch, which is fantastic. There are still some expenses in the extra preparation work we might do, but our staff are employed nonetheless. So whether they're preparing grounds for this event or preparing grounds for some other event or just doing their normal work, there's still that work associated with that. So there are some other ancillary costs, but we're not handing over money. And to give you an idea of the comparison, when you get an NRL club like a South Sydney, for example, the payment that went to South Sydney when they held one game here in Dubbo in previous years was $350,000 of council money went directly to South Sydney to host that event. And for that, we got people who visited Dubbo, but probably they didn't stay overnight because it was an afternoon event. But this here, 3 days, 3 nights, that injection into the economy, I think is absolutely fantastic.
It's certainly a great coup there. You must be very, very proud. And there was a great vibe during the event in February this year. So let's hope we can replicate that, duplicate it, in fact, over the next 3 years. Mathew Dickinson, Mayor of Dubbo Regional Council, I thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thanks, Iain. I have total confidence we'll be able to continue to do what we did this year and make it bigger and better than ever.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Mayoral Memo with Mathew Dickinson from Dubbo Regional Council.